I'm Jessica Bailey, and for my plunge, I visited a small Buddhist temple. I was very nervous. I built up my confidence and headed towards the temple. It was a very small temple, and it actually looked more like a house. There was a beautiful garden surrounding the building, and two larger-than-life statues in the front. It was very beautiful, but I felt like I was trespassing. The confidence that I had built up a couple of hours before was now gone. I sat awkwardly in my car for a couple of minutes, and then I left. I have no idea why I was so afraid. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. I needed someone to take the plunge with me, and I was able to talk my brother into coming. As we walked to the front door, I immediately felt out of place, once again. It was a strange feeling to be the minority in a group, something I have never really experienced before to such a degree. I was about to knock on the door when the door opened. A monk was standing there offering us in. I remember my students telling me not to wear shoes, so I took them off and left them on the front porch area. The monk smiled approvingly and waved us in. I then realized he did not speak English. He brought me to an altar-like area, lit an incense stick, and gave it to me. I tried to communicate with him that I had never been to temple and did not know exactly what was going on. He just smiled, nodded his head, and pointed to a jar of sand with other sticks standing in it. I placed my incense stick, in the jar, and after doing so, he pointed to a pillow on the ground and muttered that he wanted me to kneel on the pillow, with my head and my hands on the ground. Once I was in position, he hit a bell, sounding it 3 long times. He let me stay there for a while, I assume for a small meditation session. He then had me stand up and follow him into another room where he made my brother and I tea and offered us New Year's treats. The monk sat down with another couple and engaged in conversation while we took in our surroundings and snacked. The couple conversing with the monk knew a little more English and told us that the large group meeting would be at 8 p.m. and that we should come back for it. When I came back to the night service, the monk was at the door and greeted me by placing his hands together and bowing. I bowed back. Once again, I took off my shoes and entered the temple. There was almost complete silence. The lights had been turned off, and there were candles lit around the room. I found my spot on the ground closer to the back. The monk hit the same bell from earlier in the morning, signaling for the service to begin. The monk greeted everyone with a bow and then encouraged everyone to spend a couple of moments in silent meditation. A little bit later, another bell sounded, which meant meditation time was over. Everyone looked up, and the monk encouraged everyone to join him as he chanted one of Buddhist teachings. I wanted to take in what was happening around me, and I did not chant with them. I'm not exactly sure what was said either. At the end of the service, the monk invited anyone who wanted to come up and give an offering of incense, money, or whatever anyone had bought. I went up and again lit an incense stick. When the offering was finished, there was one more reading, and the bell was rung 3 times. The monk invited people to stay and eat light refreshments that were provided. I, however, left, bowed to the man at the door, found my shoes, and exited. I was very surprised about how welcoming the monk was. He didn't speak English, but welcomed me in with a smile and open arms. I would like to think that I would welcome in an outsider without question. Even though we had a language barrier, he was able to direct me respectfully around the temple and model a common meditation. I want to be that welcoming to my students. I want them to see me as a teacher that is there supporting them and helping them understand situations and content with open arms. Due to this cultural plunge, I have become more aware of similarities that exist between cultures and across ethnic lines, and how flawed my ideas of others are. I know this experience will stay with me throughout my teaching career, and I hope to become more sensitive to cultural backgrounds when I am teaching my students. In all, I believe this experience was definitely worth all my mixed emotions. I have made it a personal goal to reach out to all students and have them share their cultures with each other. I want to be able to expand their cultural knowledge as well as mine through increased communication and understanding between different groups in my classroom. As a short experiment, I interviewed a couple of my students on their religious views and knowledge of Buddhism. Their interview answers follow.
It's Mayan and Catholic. Buddhism. Christian.
Christian.
Baptist.
Non-religious.
Well, I can't really tell if other religions are wrong because I haven't been in other religions. So.
No. People can believe what they want to believe.
No. Believe what you want.
Who really knows? You might be wrong or right.
No.
Well, there's like a community who teaches about Mayans and stuff like that. Like every year they hold like a pageant for girls, like young little girls, like 6-year-olds. And yeah, they teach, like they have a speech before. They say like the mother of the earth, mother of air, mother of life, basically.
No, I don't really teach it because I don't want to like make people feel that I'm pushing my beliefs onto them. Yes, I do.
No.
No. I'm willing to teach anyone who wants to learn.
Well, we pray to God and Jesus.
I do.
I don't really pray to anyone. Jesus and God.
Jesus and God.
Oh wait, none.
I pray to no man.
Well, it's believe like your spirit is still here on earth, but like your spirit goes up to heaven, but your body stays here with the earth where it begun.
You reincarnate into like whatever you're supposed to be. Like if you're a bad person, you'll be reincarnated to like an animal. But if you're like good, you can be reincarnated to a human again. You go to heaven.
You go to heaven.
Heaven or hell.
Really don't know. Oh, but I'm not atheist, but I don't know what happened.
Wait. When you die, according to Confucianism, nothing really happens to you. Your soul is transferred to a better place depending on your karmic actions. Oh, you're Buddhist?
So,
Wow.
What did
I don't know.
Buddhists, they believe in finding your true happiness and that then it doesn't come from materialistic things, and we believe in reincarnation. Reincarnation?
I'm not sure.
Just the Bible and teachings of Jesus Christ. Oh, Buddhists? Yeah, reincarnation and the Four Noble Truths and stuff. That all human beings have to suffer, and then 3 other ones. How do you know this? Geography.
They believe in like a way of life and like kind of not being too extravagant and not being too poor.
Buddhists believe in reaching spiritual enlightenment through being the best person they can possibly be.
well, to be a good person, because treat others how you want to be treated, basically.
Be like respectful and be happy without like all the materialistic things. And yeah, be the best person that you can be. And so when you reincarnate, you'll be a human again. Follow the path of Jesus. Good.
Be good to all.
People, how you want to be treated.
To try your hardest and be the best person you can be.
To make yourself as intellectually dominant as possible. And to live a truly blessed life helping everyone around you.